And you grew up in East Malaysia, right?
So I grew up in a bit complicated because my family moved around. So I was in Cebu for a number of years and Kuching. Then I moved here when I was in primary school, I think standard 3, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, but I'm more KL rather than Sarawak because I'm in KL since when I was 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So most part of my life is in KL.
And do you grow up going to church as well?
Yeah, I grew up going to church. Since I don't know when, but just since even when I was probably doing kindergarten. Yeah. So I used to go to science school, coloring and everything. And all the way primary school, Sunday school, just following my parents Sunday school. And also secondary school as well. Then I was involved in youth as well, youth ministry in my church, a Methodist church. So so but basically most of the time it was a family thing to go to church, and it's a family thing to family thing to go to. It's a Sunday thing.
Okay. What was your understanding of Christianity back then? Because it seemed like you were quite involved in ministry and everything, but what was your understanding of the Christianity, the Bible?
Okay. I think at that time, probably during my secondary school years I remember more. Christianity is mainly for me is knowing that Jesus, cares about me and cares about my life.
Right.
And then Jesus really he loves me, right? So and even died for my sins. So I think I know all that.
Right.
And I just accepted that, and I thought that's what Christianity is about, which is Jesus cares and love for me. So I think all this while I'm having that understanding so which I think is quite deficient I mean later I realized
Right. Okay. So I'm aware that you went to university as well in IMU, right? And you were involved in the Christian fellowship there. What was that like?
IMU was probably like a turning point in my life in uni. So because I think pretty much a nominal I mean nominal, going to church because my parents going to church, and nothing wrong with that, but just that I think I myself was never really transformed by the gospel. And I only thought the gospel is all about just actually mainly about me right? And so that's also why I pursued medicine, and I thought all this is since Jesus cares for me, right? He also, I mean, it's good. It's okay for me to do what I want, right? And going to medical school, my IMU was a turning point because it's where I joined CF, and I joined this class called 2 Ways to Live. So that was really a turning point.
Okay.
And I was joining the class because I was supposed to learn to evangelize, because not sure actually why I signed up, but just a bunch of us thought, why don't we join? Because I got friends and they were like, I don't know how to evangelize, why don't we join? And in the end, I think like halfway through I realized, like this is life changing, because I really don't know the gospel in this essence. So until then, that's life. I mean, that was life transforming. That was, I think, when I was 19 or 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened after that? After you understood the gospel from the 2 Ways to Live framework, what changed in your life?
Okay. So mainly is I think to summarize it is I mean, what I understood about the gospel in essence is that I'm no longer my own boss. And that was in contrast to my old past, where I thought Christianity is supposed to help me to actualize my own my own dreams and all. But then I realized that life's not about me, and I realized that Jesus is the Lord. Right? I mean, Jesus is Lord. Really, I mean, it came into reality that I realized that all my life, right, I was not I did not surrender my life to having Jesus as my Lord, right? Although I call him Lord Jesus, right?
Yeah.
In going to church, but it was not true of my. It's not true of my life. So that's where I understand the gospel is supposed to. That's where I understood that the gospel supposed to enable to change all that, having Jesus as my Lord. So that's really different, and how then it should affect every decision that I make. Yeah, so that's where I realized I think that's where I became a Christian at that point. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. So at what point do you start attending CRC?
So 2 ways to every class was when I was first year uni. Then I start to attend CRC probably later. I think maybe I can't exactly remember when, but I start to visit because I was because of some friends who invited me. So I think when I visited, the first visit I came probably I think during Isaiah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was very long ago.
Yeah.
Then after that I didn't really come back. But I had a good impression of. I didn't really understand the whole sermon thing, but I thought this church is really crazy serious. It has a good impression on me. I didn't come back because I was still committed to my own church. I was involved in ministry there as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So it took quite some time. After that, not sure exactly when, but during my uni years, I think maybe my second year or third year uni, I start to go to, because I start to feel that I want to learn more.
Yeah.
And so I start to go to my previous church in the morning. Then in the evening, I would come to CRC to learn. Yeah. So it happened for quite some time.
Right. Okay.
Maybe 1 or 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it a struggle understanding CRC sermons? I mean, like you said that it was a bit tough. I could imagine that as well because it's Isaiah, right? It's a bit tough.
So Isaiah was just once. After that, when I was regularly attending, it was something else. I think Corinthians. First Corinthians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was tough about it?
Everything was tough. Yeah. It was. I didn't know. I didn't know how to read Bible, and I didn't know that. Yeah. There's so much context to it, and there was mirror reading. You know Corinthians, like mirror read, and there's like people asking questions and all giving the answer. Never know. I mean, for once, I never really read Bible. That's one thing. Even I read it, it's not like reading the whole thing. So this is like really like reading the whole thing, which I never really done before. So it was tough, but it was very eye-opening, and in a way, I think it's slowly changing my heart. But so I just keep coming on. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
So I just keep coming to learn. Yeah.
How did you eventually start understanding more of the content of sermons and Jesus?
I think it just over time I think I'm starting to get the hang of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think just with time. I'm not sure exactly how, but I think the Bible studies helps. I mean, I was joining the tertiary growth groups as well. I was joining TGG 2 initially. At time it's TGG 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So I was 2. And then 2 for a while, then 3. Yeah. So it was, through the TGGs. And it was very helpful. And also, I think the sermons are more like, it's even more like expanding and going deep and expanding at the same time. Yeah. So I think going to GGs and the sermons are really complementary. Right. So I mean, in time I start to understand a bit more and more, and not that I really understood everything, but it's just that I thought my understanding grew quite a bit. Yeah, just by regularly coming. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Alright. Then at what point did you decide that you want to be a member in CRC?
Oh, okay. Why do I want to be a member? That was after coming for some time. Then initially I didn't want to be a member because I thought I just want to come and learn. Yeah. And honestly, because I'm still quite comfortable in my old church, and I could essentially grew up there. So just that I'm probably feeling I want to learn more, I want to be fed more, I want to grow more. So that's why I came. So then after sometimes I thought it's probably not right for me to just continue doing that for the rest, like for long term, because it's weird to go to two churches at the same time and not commit to. I thought I'm still committed to my old church. Yeah. So membership was because that time there was a opening for membership. So at that time I just signed up for just I didn't really sign up to do be a member, but I just signed up to as an audit. So that time we have audit. So I just signed up as an external person which just want to learn about churching and what is it like in CRC. So I think that time I talked to Pastor Ronnie about it, and he allowed me to do audit. So so then I went through the membership course, and yes, learning a lot about church and what it should be. Then I just but initially there was a lot of resistance from committing because honestly, in what I think is this is really a good church, and I grow a lot here, and but it's too intense. So I was having a reaction of trying to protect myself from not going into all this, like it's a bit crazy, it's a bit too crazy. So I thought, it's good to come and learn, and but to commit fully to this church, maybe not, because it's like too crazy or requires too much. So after the membership card, I was like contemplating so I wasn't sawing initially, so I was contemplating. I was at some delay, and I was like, I'm going to go back in my old church and see what I can do. Although I can't do much, but after that I wasn't in youth ministry anymore, so I was just I'm not able to do much after that, because after youth there's just there's no way for me to bring impact. So but I thought so I was in that stage for the time. I was like, I don't want to commit, but I know this is good, but I did also until I was then I think after that I just realized this one cannot be like that forever. So it took some time actually. So after that I finally decided to commit to CRC, because I was getting all my feeding, and I was really growing a lot from coming to CRC, and I thought it's just not right for me to not commit, because I was benefiting so much, and I was just being like a parasite, and I was so in the end I initially quite reluctant, but in the end I come to realize that this is the right thing to do. Although it's a bit crazy, but it's good, because essentially it is a church that I want to give my life forever. I mean to serve, until I die or what. So I know it's good, just that there's a lot of just I think this part of me being
afraid of commitment and
self-protective.
Alright, okay. Got it. So you've been here in CRC for I think quite a while now, about 8 years-ish?
Quite a while, like 2012 until now. So now it's 10 years plus. Now it's 10 years plus, I think. So
What are some of the greatest lessons you've learned from your time here in CRC?
Greatest lessons?
Yeah.
Wow, that's really hard to put in words.
Is there any moment that you remember very vividly or was very impactful? Any sermon series that changed your life a lot? That kind of thing.
Yeah, I think every sermon series was impactful that way. I mean, I still. Every sermon series has its impact as well. I mean, but maybe for me, the more, maybe the ones that I appreciated most was Romans and Luke. Yeah, I think Romans and Luke. I mean, that was my initial years. I think I came initially with 1 Corinthians, but I didn't really understand much. But I did learn quite a lot already in terms of how to read, and there's Acts as well. But I think Romans really helped me to, like, it's really like mind-blowing, learning about like the righteousness of God, and what does it mean for me, right? Having that righteousness of God, and God being this righteous God who now gives righteousness to sinful people like me, and I think Romans is very important for me to learn how to read the Bible. So Romans and Luke was very challenging as well initially, so that was my in early years. I think the series where I think it was very life changing. There's a lot of parts about it about discipleship and what it means to count the cost to follow this king. What does it mean to be his disciples? There's a lot of challenges that comes directly from the master himself. Wow. So that's pretty impactful. Luke and I think many more after that as well. There's also series like spirituality. I think it's really helpful. To correct wrong understandings. And Hebrews as well. About perseverance.
Okay. I'm aware that there was a period of time where you went back to Sabah for hosting, right? How was that experience?
Not really went back because I was from Sarawak, so I was sent to Sabah,
right.
which is a neighboring state. So I was sent there for when I just became an MO medical officer for up to 3 years. So there was quite some time. So experiences there, other than it's a nice and good chill place, but I think going to Sabah, I think is a unique experience for me because it really helps me to appreciate CRC more, much more than I realized I should. Because being in CRC for a number of years, I think at one point I was pretty complacent. I was it's good, it's a good church, Reformed church, and I will probably just I will continue to serve here and continue to I just be a good member and I just do what I can, that kind of thing. So and then but I was being complacent at some point, I have to say. Then because I was I think I have pretty good teaching, being fed well, but until I went to Sabah where all this was changed, and until I realized that how much I've taken for granted about the faithful, intense, purposeful kind of preaching and teaching and ministry that we all have in CRC. So until I went to Sabah, I didn't realize that I was so in a way so blessed to be in CRC. When I go out, when I don't have all this, I'm like I realized that I didn't really appreciate it that much until I don't have it. So in Sabah, I went to a number of churches. I went to 3 different churches because I was trying to find a faithful Bible preaching and intense kind of church although I want to like just compare like that churches, but yeah, essentially I think it's really I would say CRC is really rare. I mean, to be a church is really rare, and in Sabah is totally different because it's just I mean, if you want to talk about just faithful teaching from the Bible itself, it's not easy to find actually, to be honest. Yeah, and they are and I appreciate that also. I mean, I appreciate that there was in one of the church that when there was faithful teaching, and that helped as well. But it was also I mean, but CRC has the uniqueness where there was I'm not just talking about good preaching or faithful teaching. I'm talking about a teaching that that affects the congregation, and where people are geared up for mission, right? Yeah, I think missional. It's not easy to find a missional church like CRC, and even though they can be faithful teaching, but to be missional is rare to see. And I think that's where I felt that this what I miss a lot about CRC is the sense of having known the gospel, and now we need to serve our Lord. Now we need to mission. Now we need to get involved in kingdom work. Yeah. So that's really what it should be. Yeah, but unfortunately not easy to find. Yeah. And I think that's what CRC is that's why I miss about CRC a lot back then when I was in Sabah. Yeah. So so it's really glad to be back here. Then after that my transfer got approved in 2021. Yeah. But for one point we were Rachel and I was very we were kind of grateful for the pandemic because of the virtual for the virtual ministries, because we got to go to our church in Sabah, and then we get to listen to CRC's one like live on the same day. So I think it really helped to keep us going. So I mean, the pandemic really helped for us the ones who are not in KL, for the virtual part.
So maybe as a final question, so just now you mentioned some of the struggles that you faced because of your quite high demanding career of being a doctor and everything. How would you give advice to maybe a younger Christian who is struggling with Christianity because of the demands of the medical industry or being a doctor?
Okay. Yeah, so depending on the person, whether he's a student, medical student, or a young doctor, houseman, or young medical officer. So I say young medical because I'm no longer a young medical officer. But what advices? I suppose advices that I have, I think is many aspects, but I think the main aspect is the why of everything, which is why who are you, and basically who is Jesus to you, and what does it mean for Jesus to be your Lord, and what does it look like for you to be a doctor currently in your workplace, and struggling, even though a struggling one. But if Jesus is your Lord, then what should you do lah. I think it's all coming from there lah. But of course, depending on the person's situation, usually the advice would differ as well. But I think it will coming from that. If Jesus is Lord, then what does it mean for me to live out this life serving Him in even in our field, which can be quite tough and demanding. Yeah. So that's where it will come in. Yeah.